Welcome to Southern Fried Baseball, brought to you by College Baseball Central, bringing you 90 feet closer to the greatest show on dirt. Here are your hosts.
Welcome back, college baseball fans. Back here with another week. It's our final tune-up week before SEC play. We have all the games up on the calendar. As you may notice, a lot of them are big underdogs, as Missouri UIC is the closest pair rating. 14 of the 16 teams have it 90%. So it's going to be, I think, a sweep weekend. We've already seen some double headers. It might be a weird weather weekend. How are we doing today, Nick, before we jump into our Q&A mailbag?
Yeah, you say some sweep weekends, but somebody's going down. As we've seen some, we don't know who it's going to be. We just saw LSU drop 2 straight. We've seen LSU struggle at times this year. We saw Ole Miss struggle at times this year. Missouri has actually looked great so far. I wouldn't put with Tennessee with who they have should be fine. But yeah, there are plenty of teams that are on upset watch just because of who they have coming in this weekend. And if they get caught looking ahead, it might hurt them.
Yeah, like you said, UL beat LSU. Northeastern just came in and handled business against them and held on late. Weird things can happen in baseball, but that brings us to our first mailbag question. The Missouri Tigers have won 7 in a row. Can the Missouri offense realistically keep it going? Like I said, a big reason for them being 7-0 is this offense. Obviously, they're not going to score 17 runs every single game, but do you think it can be competitive?
I don't know how many times I have to reiterate this to you. I told you this team is going to win 6 or 7 conference games this year. That was when you said, what is your bold take weeks ago? I said this team is going to win 6 or 7 conference games. I still believe that. I don't know when they're going to be. I don't even think they're and that's the crazy thing is I don't think they are going to know when they're going to be. It's just going to be when is this offense going to explode? And it's mostly because whether it's they're going to cause errors, they're going to cause chaos on the base pass, they're going to cause just errors to be thrown because of how elusive they are and how athletic they are. We don't know when these wins are going to come from, but they're going to come this year. And I told you, you said they're going to get less than 3 wins, which is what they got last year. I said they're going to get more than 6. I think we might be somewhere in between. I'm not sure if they get 6, but I think they get more than 3. But I'm going to lean more towards I think they get closer to that 6, 7, 8 SEC mark than they do 3.
They come in with the 5th most runs per game in the entire nation, the 23rd highest ranked batting average.
Yeah,
I'll say this: I don't think the offense. I don't think it's sustainable, but I think that there is a game where they could actually realistically blow someone out. So, I remember last year when they beat A&M, that was really the only series where they had that timely hitting, and even then, everybody was kind of shocked. I don't think this year it'll be shocking if they rattle off and get 5, 6, 7 runs in a game.
Well, that's what we talked about is that they can't rely on 3 2-run home runs, 3-run home runs, and just giant innings. But what they can do is they can put in a Kentucky type of offense together where they're just extremely athletic. They're going to run on everybody, and they want to put bunts down, and they're just going to cause chaos.
Jamal George is their catcher. That should really just kind of put it into perspective.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
He's a center fielder.
Yeah, extremely athletic. That's what they need to do. It's just create chaos. Whether it's no matter if you're on the leadoff position is up, or whether it's the 8 guy is up or 9 guy is up. Just create chaos and do whatever you can to because you're not going to be you aren't going to out strategize these teams and out talent these teams. So just do what you have to do. And the Kentucky strategy.
Kentucky went to Omaha with
that's what I'm saying.
Strategizing teams
with the Mingione. Yeah, the Mingione strategy. If you looked at Kentucky's apps right now, outside of Tyler Bell, they don't have Jackson Jelkin, who they kind of lucked.
By the way, Bell's taking BP.
Correct. They kind of lucked into Jackson Jelkin, but not gonna lie, if you looked at so just you talk about any of these 6 or 7 top rosters alone in the SEC, And then you look at Kentucky's and Missouri's. Jackson Joke and Tyler Bell, the only two you guys are taking. So
Cleaver.
Like I said, he has to prove. Okay, he has to prove it first. I'm sorry, you can't get me with Milwaukee and prove it to me.
He was good last year though. Wow.
He was hurt last year. He didn't
Cleaver
last year. Oh no, not Cleaver. Okay, I was thinking of joking. Yeah. Okay. Yes, Cleaver was good. I don't care. Prove it to me again. I will still take. Yeah. I don't know. I'll still take Joe. I will still take what any other SEC team has until proven otherwise.
Here's you a two-parter. Who fills the hole in Carolina's lineup with their latest injuries, and what percentage would you give South Carolina to finish below Missouri?
Okay, so that's an extremely tough question, and mostly because we thought they were on the brink already of being like that 30% to 40% an SEC type roster, where it's like if they lose anyone, are we sure they have the utility players to fill the roster? I don't think so. I think last Thursday was a fluke. I think the fact that they beat Clemson was literally just because I'm losing
Clemson on Friday.
Because I can't think of the pitcher's name, but he went crazy on Friday, and then they got blown out Saturday, Sunday. That's more like it.
Darden, isn't it Ethan Darden?
Yeah, no, I don't know, but do I think South Carolina is bad enough to finish last in the SEC? I hope not. But it's between. But the fact that we're talking about this is the problem. The fact that this is even being brought up. Imagine this being brought up between any other program in the SEC. We bring up. It doesn't matter. Tennessee, LSU, Ole Miss, Mississippi State. If we bring up this process with any other, with literally any other process,
it's close. It's a discussion. I don't think there's any other program that we're talking about a discussion.
That's what I'm saying. That's why it's such a problem.
Yeah.
Is because it really is like there is a chance the SEC, like Michigan, I keep saying it, or not Michigan, Missouri. I keep saying it. They're going to be super, super freaking athletic, and they're going to cause teams problems because they're going to play so unorthodox that it's going to drive people freaking nuts. And people don't get it yet, but it's going to be like that 2023 Kentucky team where it's like they're going to try to get hit by pitches 11 to 12 times a game, and they're going to stand in the box and they're going to stick their elbows out, they're going to stick their knees out. And they're going to do whatever they can to just make it ugly. And Mizzou's going to do that. I don't know if Missouri has that on their roster.
I think Missouri has more pride than South Carolina. I think South Carolina.
I think Carrick Jackson has more pride.
Yes.
But I don't know if that until I see it translate to his roster. I don't know that. But Carrick trains it. Yes, but Carrick Jackson, 1,000% it translates.
Yeah,
because
I don't know where they're gonna get it from because that's the thing is they were
so
already
hard, man.
Kind of punching above their weight in terms of the average anyway. Like again, we talked about it last week. Like Talmadge LaCroix and KJ Scobie hitting over 330. Maybe Bo Hollins finally comes around, but I mean.
That's still 3 out of 9 guys. It's so hard.
Yeah, it'll be interesting with them. But here's the scary thing: I don't think they move on from Maneri quite yet either. That's the part.
They will, because you mentioned it. You did it to yourself right there, and you said the word "scary." You parting it like that. There's a separation that's going to happen.
Yeah,
and it just needs to be who win. Like I don't even know. I'm not gonna speculate, but it is like a who win where type of situation that just they feel like the school works best for them. Because it's not just baseball. Basketball needs someone new. Football is struggling right now too. Like it's a whole
and the women's basketball team gets rev share. That's kind of another big part of it.
Okay, which Okay, but even the red shirt has to go like they have to move their red shirt. Like, yes, their red shirt was third this year. They have to
I don't
move
know.
them.
They spent a lot. They spent a lot of money on this team. That's the part that I think is the
I
scariest
know,
part.
which was the scary part is that it was still third.
Because I've seen a lot of insiders who have been very, very like the ones that I've talked to have been very, very hesitant about South Carolina moving on from Maneri, and they've gone as far as to say like, yeah, anything you hear about South Carolina moving on from Maneri is just people making stuff up. But I mean,
Okay,
this
I
is an
heard literally
expensive roster.
I literally heard football, baseball, basketball, and I heard like in that order. So I literally heard like baseball was spent like the third most revenue share, and that's why like college, like the women's college basketball, all of a sudden has gone downhill. The men's college basketball is atrocious this year. Um, I so that it's a scary thought if you're a South Carolina fan. Of where's this like one? Are you spending NIL? Because if you do, where does it go? And also, like,
I mean, they had a pretty like big
but
portal class in terms of volume.
I know, no. Oh, well, okay, yes. Well, you and I can talk very like strongly
Yes.
about like where that money went to, and we know where that money went. And right now, it's clearly not paying off. So it's also like that's still we have these giant collectives, and it's not working right now. So like, I mean, yeah, as a program that's as proud as South Carolina is, where do you go next? I'm glad I'm not in charge because I don't entirely know.
Yeah, Andrew got a list of people like from a South Carolina reporter, and it is a mix of no, they're not leaving. No, you could do better than that. And like, why? Like, here, I'll read it. I'll read off some of those. Kurt Sarlos, Jordan Bishel, Nolan Kane, Justin Parker. Like, it's just a mixed bag.
I mean, Justin Parker would never do. I mean, yeah, Justin Parker would never leave.
I
McClung would
don't
never
think
leave.
even then, I mean, if you're South Carolina, like, I feel like you could do better than Justin Parker. Like, I like Justin Parker, but I feel like they can get like a proven guy.
I don't know. Well, that's the hard thing is I don't know anymore.
I mean, I will say this: we saw what A&M did with Michael Early when they promoted somebody who was a former coach. We're kind of seeing a little bit with Elander about when you like. I have a feel like South Carolina should not go hey, this guy was at South Carolina before. We should get him in because he knows our culture.
Mm.
Like, that's a horrible thing. That'd be like hiring like another old man.
Yep. Okay. So for Elander, he had literally the two top recruits or the two top recruiting classes in the country that came in. Like Tennessee was number one recruiting class in 2023, number one recruiting class in 2024, and they were number 3 in 2025. And that's who that Elander took over. They were the number one transfer portal in 2025 for A&M that A&M took off of Schlossnagel. And that's like the smallest part of what they took.
And I'll say this: Elander and Early. I know that Early, like looking back a year later, they were both like phenomenal assistant coaches. Well, like there were already murmurs of them leaving anyway. Like I don't think anybody's poaching Justin Parker to be the head coach.
We've talked about this, and I don't know if I want to. I don't know how much I want to put out here because there's a lot of background noise about Michael Early. I've known Michael Early since I was like 12. Let's just say yes. Michael Early he was great. Extremely good hitting coach. He's been able to hit since he was like I said, when we were 12, dude could rake. There's no doubt about that. It is one of those situations where he's always been able to hit on Tracy Smith when he played at IU, and then he went to Arizona State, and he went to IU, and then he followed to Texas A&M, TCU, Texas A&M, and those guys. He's been able to hit. It's a different combat situation when you are just trying to teach someone how to hit versus you are trying to lead a man. It's very complicated. It's like what people will talk about, like, hey, can you lead a horse to water? Cool. Like I can lead a horse to water and teach him how to hit, but can I lead a horse to water and teach him to hit in and 8.65, like all these other things. There's a reason Coach Silas was such a good coach. And there's a reason Coach Schlossnagle left Texas. And there's a reason Josh Elander, think about Elander with Tennessee, was the number 4 guy. And you look at it, and he was literally behind Schlossnagle. It was literally Schlossnagle, Elander, Vitello, and Dave Van Horn. And that was one single coaching staff. And now you look at it.
That's insane to think about.
That is insane. That's what I'm saying. Is like, that is insane. And it's like, so Elander didn't get forced into this. Elander was built
ready.
up.
Yeah, he was ready.
Yeah, Elander is 14 years built into this. Michael Early is 3 years into this where he got forced. But as you and I, like, it's like only time can tell. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you could be the greatest coach ever. If you get recruits, you're going to look amazing. If you are the greatest coach ever, if you get bad recruits, you're going to look bad. Like, it's just like, things kind of work out like that. So you really don't know.
What has been the biggest surprise? The Texas power numbers or the lack of walks from Texas A&M's pitching staff?
Ooh. Can I go elsewhere?
Yeah.
Let me go Arkansas's portal transfers.
The lack. Oh, you're going negative. These were both positive. You're going negative.
They were not. I didn't feel like you were going positive with those.
Yeah. The question was, what has been more impressive? The Texas power numbers with Mendoza, Robbins, and Timo, or A&M, who A&M leads the country right now, and they're the lowest number of walks in the SEC.
Let me come back to the negative then. I will definitely go positive. Ethan Mendoza has been great. You look at Timo Becerra, who was a middle infielder at Stanford, didn't know where he was going to kind of fit in at Texas, and that was
he was supposed to be the shortstop, and then Rodriguez came in and just beat him out straight up.
Exactly. So he was supposed to be the issue. Was like, where's this guy going to fit? And then he all of a sudden he shifts over to third, and not only has I think he's made 0 errors at third so far.
He's made some shortstop plays too.
And he's already hit more home runs this year than he did all season last year. At Stanford.
Well, he had more home runs in like one game than he had.
It's absolutely absurd. So he, like, by far, he's playing so much better than anybody else that I could even think of. And then it's like, so the only questions you have where it moves Texas is, it's like, okay, what are you doing if he's doing that no matter where you put him, because he's not going to be like top 4 guy in the lineup because they're so stacked with Mendoza, like all their guys.
Rodriguez, Tinney, Robbins.
Yes. They're so stacked in their top 5. It's like, okay, so if he kind of controls that little line between 6, 7, 8, and it's like, okay, you're guaranteeing whoever's hitting 8th or 9th still hits 320 to 350.
I think 8th, 9th is either Jonah or
Pack. Pack, which is a scary ass thought because that means
that would probably hit leadoff on a lot of these SEC teams.
That's what I mean. Yes, and so they're both hitting somewhere between that like 320 to 340 range, which is a scary thought for the whole SEC. And I don't know. I mean, I know where you rank them. To me, it's like this is the second best team in the country. It's the number 1 team in the SEC for me. It's like they have overperformed my expectations, but when you look at their roster and you realize, like, holy crap, there's 5 guys that are going to get drafted in the top 2 rounds, it kind of makes you realize it.
And here's the part that's even crazy is you mentioned that they have 5 guys that are going to be drafted. Their best players aren't even draft eligible, like Rodriguez, Kozart, Crossland. Like those guys aren't even eligible this year.
Aiden Robbins is going to go in the top 10 picks, so he'll get drafted early.
Tinney will probably go in the top 15.
If he stops striking out. But still, yes. That's still a first rounder. Yes, absolutely.
But again, even A&M, I know A&M, like that was the thing with their pitching staff is that we kind of questioned it. I mean, last year, like the walks, I felt like were terrible. Yeah. And this year, they lead the country in based on ball per 9 innings. Like, I think that's really, really shocking to me as someone who's around both programs because, I mean, transparently, I know it's crazy to put on 10 pounds of muscle, but Schlossnagle and the nutrition department at Texas have proved that they can do that before. Like Rodriguez put on 15 pounds last year. to hit more power. So that really wasn't like too surprising. It's more than just A&M because I think it's like a philosophical thing. And they didn't make any changes at the pitching coach. It just feels like this team kind of got back to basics with the staff.
Yeah, we kind of did that. We were very similar. So like my senior year, so when we won the Missouri Valley Conference in my senior year, beat Dallas Baptist and Wichita State, we were just an old team. And it happened because we had been doing the nutrition and stuff for 2 or 3 years, where it was like, hey, we're going to, like, our goal is to be in like 2014. We want to be the oldest, biggest, most physical team possible by this year. And that's kind of seemed in which it doesn't carry as much over anymore now that there's like the transfer portal and stuff. But like we were at that point, it was like we were like the 23-year-olds who looked like 19-year-olds. If you know what I mean, you probably ran into some of our teams, but we were kind of crazy, like looking like that. And now like they should just dominate teams from a physical standpoint. But what I'm more interested in is, I guess, when you go to these, I don't know how to describe it. It's like the more philosophical teams of like Oklahoma playing Santa Clara, which is like which is not like, we'll get into that this weekend, which is not a clear team because you can't just like blow them out of the water because they're going to pitch against you. Texas, UC Upstate is no joke, and that's what they have this week. And it's like they're going to figure out these ways to score runs, and it's a great test from an SEC standpoint because it's like you're not just going to get like bing bang boom of where it's like 4, 5, 6, and all you have to worry about is the roster of, can this guy hit a home run against you? It needs to be like you have to adjust. If the guy hits a single, you can't let him steal against you so that he can move the runner over, and then the sac fly beat you. So there's so many things where it's like this weekend is ugly from a standpoint of the SEC. Like the SEC is going to like scrape through this weekend. It's like, let's be honest. But you and I both know there's going to be one of those two teams that just, it doesn't perform well because they don't play well in those in the small like ways they should win.
We do have a question in the YouTube chat, so I'll go ahead and read it. Hey, Jake, how come last year you defended Texas and A&M and Michael Early for 2 months, but after one series against Kent? I did not. If you remember correctly, I actually said that they sucked very, very early, and I got a lot of heat for that. But I think for me with Elander, after seeing them up close and personal, I think it's similar stuff that I said last year with Early, where I don't think it's Elander's fault. I think it was just kind of a transition year already for Tennessee. And I think that this is a team that's going to have to win differently than in years past, and having to deal with Elander having the growing pains of being a new coach. That's kind of the big thing for me. Why I don't have them as high as others is I felt like they were already going to have to, they don't have Fisher and Keelan that are going to bang out and be first round picks. Like they're already going to have to figure out new ways to win. And it's hard to play in the SEC. It's hard to coach in the SEC. And it's one of those things where this time next year, I'm sure Elander will have a better understanding on how to coach. But it's just so many little things that running a program that you don't even think about. And that's why I'm kind of lower on Tennessee than other people. 1. And 2, I think Tony V's like an incredible coach. Like he's already having to like replace Tony V, who's one of the best coaches. That's the thing for me. And then it says, we all know you're an Aggie. I love that. I've been called an LSU homer, by the way, so that's been kind of my good one. Which is a good transition into LSU. Let me read it off here.
I'll leave the Tennessee question alone because
because you're high on them. Yeah, that's undirected at you.
People are. I don't.
What do you think could be the root cause for LSU being so off their game lately? Is this something that you think is just baseball and growing pains, or do you see long-term stuff with the national championship curse we've had the last few years?
Ooh, you want me to go first?
I can go first because I'll be quick. I think I think that this team just needs to mesh and gel, and I don't think this team trusts Nate Yeski and Jay Johnson to put him in a position to succeed yet. And there's so many new faces on the program that it's taking a little bit longer than years past, which is always the risk with transfers. But do I think that they're like missing the tournament? No, but I mean they've looked bad the last 2 weeks, like uncompetitive at bats, pitchers walking guys. Like the only one that's really kind of been a mainstay has been Brown, and I think the thing for me, like I thought they were going to run more. I feel like they haven't ran that much the last 2 games. What's your thoughts on LSU?
Okay, let's go. Because I've been preaching this. How many times have you asked me in the last 2 weeks, are you worried about LSU? And I have to keep saying yes.
Yes.
And like, yeah, there is big time problems. And it's not even like, and the scary thing is like LSU fans like, oh, well, it's just a midweek. Who did they throw during this midweek? They threw Zach Callen, they threw Jaden Newton, they threw Devin Sheeran, they threw Maverick Rizzi, they threw Ethan Plog, they threw DJ Primino. They started.
Fontenot pitched.
They started Guidry. Like they threw all of their weekend arms and lost to like Louisiana. So it's not like they can be like, oh well, we just lost because it was a midweek game.
They also didn't hit. Like they only scored 2 runs?
Correct, and they were basically both because of Brown. Like they were both because there was a double to start off with, and then a bad throw by a catcher. Yes, correct. So it's like you got 2 guys, but you cannot say that it's like, oh, we only lost because it was a midweek game. When those the guys you threw in the midweek were the main guys that you would literally throw on a weekend rotation to beat that team. Like if you were on a Saturday, like outside of Case and Evans and maybe Cooper Moore because you're starting him on Saturday. But the guys who would have came in after Cooper Moore were Maverick Rizzi and were literally Gavin Guidry. Like those were the guys that got beat by Louisiana and got beat by Northeastern. So it's like I've been
I think UL's going to give them a better game than.
Dude, Northeastern is bad this year. I don't want to hear that shit.
No. Sorry. UL is going to give them a better game than Sacramento State. So you know they're not holding back weekend guys for Sacramento State. Like correct. It's not like they're playing a conference opponent.
Bro, they played Dartmouth on Sunday, and then they played Dartmouth on Sunday, and then a terrible Northeastern team on Monday. So there should be nobody left in their bullpen where it's like, oh my gosh, our arms are so tired that we can't risk running these guys out against Louisiana. There are issues. This team is not I love the offense, and when you look at the offense and so me as what I do, my main job, people who don't know, my first job above all others is I am a scout. My job as a scout, I love these offensive guys, but I love them individually. They just aren't fitting as a team. Jake Brown, obviously offense, incredible. All these guys are fitting amazingly as a individually group, but I don't understand what's happening. There is a reason that no team has made the College World Series since they won in 2017 has ever been back to Omaha, and it just seems like
it's hard.
This is fitting the perfect mold. They don't have a legit ace. Case and Evans is not Case and Evans. Okay, actually, let me ask you this. Because this is actually a good transition to probably where we're going next. If you would give Case and Evans, where would you rank him in terms of starting Friday night guys in the SEC?
Well, here I got it in front of me. We'll go in order. He's not better than Tegan Coons. He's not better than Jelkin. He's not better than Ruger.
Yep.
I'd take Gackle over him. I'd take Peterson over him.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's above Elliott and Faye and Sadeo.
Really?
Yeah.
Not Elliott. I could see Faye and Sadeo just because they need to prove something. Hunter Elliott, at least.
What is that? Even then, that's 10 without even really discussing it.
Agreed. But at least Hunter Elliott, I know what I'm getting every week.
Yes. But
Okay. Oh, yeah. So you're talking somewhere like that 12 to 14 range, and like that's your Friday. And so if he blows up Friday, then your whole weekend is kind of like off the rocker.
here's
And it's
the
like,
real question. How many Saturday guys do you think are better than Case and Evans in the SEC?
oh, 10 to 12.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think he's that far down.
If not worse, if not worse, it's 10 to 12.
Merciless. I'll say Volantis because I know Harrison's the Saturday guy, but Volantis I think is undisputed better. King, no.
Mac and Blanco for Tennessee. So the question is like, it's like, where do you put them on Saturday? Do you put them on Sunday, or do you lump them in? Cleaver is obviously better.
So is LSU's issue then that the offense isn't producing at the level that we thought for the pitching that they have? I think is the real thing. Is that the offense isn't producing. So who do you think? So here's your question then. I just thought of. Who's the LSU is blank of a version of 2024. 2026 LSU is blank in 2025.
Ooh, that's a great one. Okay. I'm gonna go LSU's 2026. So like this year, 2026 is last year's Wake Forest, where it's like they were ready pitching wise, but they were so so they were a year off offensively, and it kind of feels like where they got caught in the middle of the recruiting standpoint of like, hey, should we keep recruiting like all these like great, fantastic standouts that we got in 2023, 2024, where we went to the runner-up. Basically, we went to the Final Four. We just happened to get beat by Paul Skeens. And then, like, we're just going to keep recruiting these guys, like Chase Burns and all these guys. And now they're kind of stuck in that spot of, oh, crap, we are not that actually – we can't actually recruit that good offensively to where they're at now. That's what I would compare it to, because I think
I was going to go Georgia from last year because it felt like Georgia. Like I remember this time last year.
If you completely flipped it, but dude, I don't. So I was always down on Georgia last year because I thought they were.
But everybody said they should go to Omaha, and then they finally played somebody.
I was always way worse on Georgia than
but then they finally played somebody. Like I remember I saw them in Texas in April. I was like, this isn't a good team at all. Like,
dude, well, that's what I thought with Tennessee. Like they played Tennessee and got beat like 13-4, and then like 16-5. It was just like, yeah, it was like absurd.
But everybody was talking about them being an Omaha team. They're talking about how much they hit. Like,
yeah, you mean media-wise? Yes, yes. There were certain.
I think that this is just it feels like a travel team that hasn't meshed yet.
Who meshed? Who?
LSU.
Maybe, but I don't know. But like travel team that hasn't meshed is a good way to put it, because of the talent is there, but it's like they're not even close. And if you like, the college baseball season is shorter than people think. Like we're 2 weeks away from literally.
I don't know. If you suck, it gets real long, real fast.
Agreed. But that's why. Okay. But let me ask you this though, is like, because of like how much we've seen so far, it feels like Georgia has also not like actually glued together whatsoever. They just happen to like score a bunch of like they happen to.
I don't know. They feel like they've meshed together because they've kicked the crap out of so many teams, but you don't know how they're going to be, which is actually our next question.
But I feel like they score runs like individually, where it's like, holy crap, like, oh, Colby Branch just hits a 3-run bomb, and then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, it's like that. That's how it works. It's like, okay, they get hit by a pitch, and then they walk, and then like Trey hits a 3-run bomb, and then all of a sudden it's like 7-2. Compared to LSU, where it's like LSU seems to be fighting to not only like find that guy who's going to hit that 3-run bomb, but also who's the guy that's like out. Like I don't even know, because it doesn't feel like it. It doesn't seem like anybody on that team is the guy who's like just willing to get hit by a pitch and walk. And
yeah, they don't have any like dirt bags.
Who's doing the dirty stuff to just get on base in front of that 3-run home run? Like they're all like, should wear it in the elbow, wear it in the neck, We're in the ribs. Like, who's the guy who's like doing that dirty stuff to get on base ahead of that Jake Brown like 3-run home run or like
Yeah.
in
Which
so
I
like
will say this: LSU does have a lot of dirt bags.
you would like from looking at their roster, yes, but from looking at what I've watched all of their games, and they haven't played like that. Like the
They have
roster
to
is
figure out
the roster is full of dirtbags, yes, but the roster right now is full of guys who are not wanting to be the dirtbag. They're
they
wanting to
need a
be the
left
superstar.
fielder and they need a DH. I think are their two things. And once they get those,
well, Stanfield coming back, obviously can fix a lot of problems because he is an absolute dirtbag. Like
yes.
that guy, like there's a reason he led the SEC in hitting last year, or led LSU.
I got a
SEC
question
conference
though.
hitting last year.
Do you think it's weird that he's hanging out in the bullpen? Like on Monday night, he was out with the
Dude,
bullpen.
no, you have no
I
idea.
thought that was kind of weird.
No, so like when I played whatever, like the 5 years of college baseball I played, like no, it was whoever gets along best. It's whoever's you were literally playing bunt games. You were playing like some stupid shit. Like yeah, it has nothing to do with that whatsoever.
How much can we trust the Georgia Bulldogs, knowing that they have played this inferior talent and not dominated them in the ways that Texas has?
I am 50-50. I know I had them ranked. I think I had them ranked lower than you. I had them ranked 9th.
Well, I had them like power rated 4th in the SEC. I should say that my top 25 it's just this season, so there's no preseason stuff.
Correct.
So it's a little wonky as we get it worked out.
Correct. I think we were about the same. I think I was like 9th, you were like 10th. So it's very similar. I had
them 4th. I had them 4th in the country.
You had them 4th in the country.
I still granted, I mean, they haven't played anybody, but I still think they are what LSU was supposed to be. Like, yeah, they're throwing a whole bunch of pitchers at the wall. I'm sure some of them will stick. Yeah. They got a ton of pop. They're an old team. They've been here before. When they mesh, they'll be one of the best teams in the country.
Fair enough. Okay, and that's where I guess we're a little bit different, we're not far off.
Yeah.
I still think I had them 9th, either 8th or 9th, right behind Florida. Just had a Southern Miss.
I should say I was dead wrong about Florida, and even 3 weeks in, I'm ready to eat crow on them with how wrong I was. So that's kind of the other thing is I was very low on Florida.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like we're not going to know until we know. They get Tennessee week 1 in SEC play. We don't know until then. Colby Branch
and they get at A&M. That'll be their first road series.
Yeah, and their first road to and then we're going to Trey. Yeah, Trey Phelps is going to have to be there. Colby Branch will have to be hot, otherwise they're going to lose the weekend series, and then it becomes so if they lose the first weekend and then second weekend, which you mentioned A&M, it's like, oh my gosh, is this just another year? Because the pitching, when you bring in a staff of your Friday night guy and your Saturday night guy who you are supposed to translate from 6 ERAs all of a sudden to the SEC year need to be 2.5 to 3.5 ERA guys. That's where that's where the money hits the road, and that's what
they're top 30 in ERA in the country and top
right now,
10 in Ks per 9 now, and they are not going to get that the entire year.
Correct. Wes Johnson is being paid though as a pitching guy. And so we need to see like what he's going to look like when he's in like the 50s, 60s, 70s strength of schedule. So it's early.
They played one road game and they haven't left the state of Georgia.
Who was that? Georgia? Who was Kennesaw State? Was that was the one they left?
Yeah, and Kennesaw State is the only. That is far and away the best team that they've played.
At Kennesaw State, I'm not gonna lie. Like this is a personal thing. At Kennesaw State was one of the most fun rounds of BP you will ever have. It was like there's an apartment complex just like left center field, and it's so much fun just hit over that apartment complex. So they could, that's a freaking bang box.
Here's you a weird thing though, is we have their pair stats up. They're 2-3 in quad 3 games, and 8-0 in quad 4 games.
Dude, I'm worried about their bullpen. Like the fact that they took the lead, they took a 2-run lead in the 8th inning yesterday. In the 8th inning, and it's like, okay, this should be over because they're up like 10-8. I think in the 8th inning. Who were they even like? Charleston? Was it Charleston Southern? I can't remember who they were playing.
Western Carolina.
They were up. Yes, they were up 10-8, like in the 8th inning. And it's like this should be game over. Like so, any other SEC team, this would be the end. because you kind of have a guy where it's like, okay, we're going to put a guy in who's going to throw you 98, 97. You are not going to touch him. Not only did Western Carolina touch him, but it was like 2 walks, a hit by pitch, and then 3 hits on top of it, and then what ended in a freaking grand slam.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's a joke. Like,
Deja vu. That's what happened last year.
yes, like most of the SEC guys don't have bullpens that will like just cramp and like shut down like that. Where it's like, we've been talking about this Wes Johnson year after year after year after year. It's like, okay, they're going to score runs. When are they going to finally be able to stop teams from scoring those 9 runs in the last 3 innings? So it's not looking great off the start. But it's one of those things we're not going to know until I hate
Until
it. Sucks because we're not going to know.
Why'd they cancel Georgia Tech?
Dude, Georgia Tech would beat their ass right now. I'm not, like, literally no joke. Georgia Tech would run roll them.
All right, let's do a home field ad read.
It might be 38-28, but they might
38-28.
But they'll run.
Let's get the ad, and then we'll go through the back 9 here.
Before we get back to the action, we've got to tell you about the best gear in college sports. The place to go is Home Field Apparel. Check out the Diamond Classics collection. High-quality throwback jerseys for your favorite team. From the Arkansas Razorbacks to the Vanderbilt Commodores, Home Field has you covered. Home Field's the only apparel partner of College Baseball Central. Gear up for game day by visiting homefieldapparel.com.
All right, welcome back to the action here. We got an interesting one as we kind of half change gears here. With Southern Miss's dominance in midweeks against Alabama and Mississippi State, where would you rank Southern Miss in the SEC in a 3-game series?
Terrible timing as they got beat last night. I'm sure this question came right before it.
Yeah.
I would say that's actually a fantastic question.
I can go first because I've actually seen them twice.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
12th. They don't have the depth. Like I've seen their
12th?
Sunday guy. They would not win very many. They would not win very many Sunday games,
bro. Okay,
they can hit. They have a lot of timely hitting. Their pitching's very top end, but I don't think that. I mean, some of these guys that the SEC can roll out. I mean, they're better than Missouri. They're better than South Carolina. I think they're better than Ole Miss.
I'm looking right now.
They'd probably beat LSU right now.
Southern Miss. Okay, let me go. Okay, just because I'll shoot this real quick. I'm gonna put them behind Arkansas somehow, but just to be safe, because that's like 50-50. Okay?
I mean, Arkansas wins on Sundays at least.
Okay, 50-50 in Arkansas. They lose to Auburn, lose to Florida, lose to Georgia. 4. They beat Kentucky, lose to Southern Miss.
I don't think they beat Kentucky. I don't think they match up very well with Kentucky at all.
I think the pitching staff does. But the problem is you go after that. They beat Oklahoma. They beat Missouri. They beat Mississippi. They beat
I don't
South
think they beat
Carolina.
Oklahoma. I don't think they beat Oklahoma. I've seen both teams. OU can hit, and OU can run out some bullpen guys at the end.
Okay, we'll take that back. Okay, so fine.
If you remember correctly, they run ruled TCU on Sunday from a depth perspective.
They lose to South Carolina. They lose to Vandy. And then
Wait, you think they lose to South Carolina?
Do I think what? Yes, of course. South Carolina is not better than they are.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait. Well, I thought you said that South Carolina is better than them. Never mind.
Oh, no. Oh,
I was like, wait, what? I was like,
yeah. So I would say they're somewhere around like that 7-8 mark, 7-8-9.
Yeah, I don't hate that actually. Now that we kind of draw it out. Okay, with all the speculation about DVH retiring and Michael Early getting canned at Texas A&M, what percentage would you put Tony V returning to college baseball next year?
How much am I allowed to say?
I think it's like 10%. I don't think it's 0, but I also don't. But we were also told it was 0 way that Schloss goes to Texas. So
yeah, I got some. Yeah, I have some knowledge. It's not 0. Problem is, it's not 0. It's not 20 because when he comes back, he's not coming back to Tennessee. And you also don't know if it's so hard to tell. Like if the Giants get great free agents and stuff like that, if he just blows up, he's not going anywhere. Like he'll stay with the Giants. But if the Giants come back to college, then no joke, me even as a Tennessee fan, I could admit this. Like Arkansas is a better job than Tennessee is. So it's if they're both open, and if
there's a reason he left Tennessee.
Well, the reason he left Tennessee is only because of the Giants. He was not leaving, literally, legitimately, he would go nowhere else. So, even last year, he said, and they said, if last year was open and it was the San Francisco Giants versus the Arkansas Razorbacks, he's still taking the San Francisco Giants. There's no doubt whatsoever. It just happened to be that type of year, and yeah, it sucks as a Tennessee guy. But yeah, and unless the situation is legitimately perfect, he's not coming back here, unfortunately. And if college baseball is open to it in that spot with if the spot is open anyhow with Arkansas, they will throw freaking boatloads of money at that guy.
Yes,
no doubt
but
about that.
So would A&M. That's the other thing is if they
if A&M could, it doesn't matter. A&M could double the money, he will still go to Arkansas. So me, I've talked to Tony so many times. He's such a connection guy, and he cares about relationships so much that I don't think that matters whatsoever of the spot and of the money. I think Arkansas would mean so much more to him.
Yeah,
than A&M,
it would be a
where,
perfect thing.
Yeah, where it just means so much more.
Okay. If you were to move the SEC tournament out of Hoover, where would you move?
For Nashville. God, please put it in Nashville. What do they do? It should have been in Nashville already.
Or I like Arlington because there'd be no rain delays.
Arlington, dude. No, stop. There should be nothing in. No. Put no freaking conference tournament should be indoors. Period. So you can just shit on that.
I don't know, man. Arkansas makes it I know that everybody always talks about how indoors are dead.
Indoors are dead. Get them out.
I don't know. Arkansas makes it pretty rowdy. And when I was there for A&M UCLA, they were pretty rowdy.
I could care less if it's rowdy. Get it out of those unnatural elements. Get the hell out. Give me Nashville. Give me Music City. Give me all the freaking rock and roll stars, country stars, all this stuff where it's legitimately in the middle of everyone. What would Houston or Dallas? Dallas is so far away from Tallahassee, or not Tallahassee, but Gainesville and
I mean, there's A&M, OU, and Texas, Arkansas, and LSU, all within a pretty close distance.
They're all within 4
I should say this: if LSU played on the moon, they would probably still get
okay. Drive to Nashville, it's 4 hours.
Yeah,
it's literally yes, Nashville. It is so easy for me. It is an absolute Nashville. Play play at the AAA stadium. That's a win-win. That is so easy for me.
This will be the last one.
Yes, and
how many SEC teams do you think we have in Omaha?
I'm gonna say, God, I don't want to sound homerish either. Hold on, let me actually look at that real quick.
I got 4.
Okay, so people who don't know, and that's what I'm gonna look up real quick. So people who don't know, so teams to make Omaha and win the national championship have finished in the top 20 in WRC Plus as well as Sierra in the last 2 seasons, or the last 4 or 5 seasons. That's 2 combined stats.
Yeah, the lock.
Yeah, so that's what it takes to lock it up. So I'm trying to look up who has those stats and it's still combined. But yeah, go ahead real quick if you have somebody.
I'll go A&M, Arkansas, Texas, and Florida. I think A&M, because I think A&M is going to be a 2, and they'll get a West Coast draw, an Oregon, or an overrated Big 12 team, and then they'll roll through that. I think Florida's got the pitching just down the right side of the bracket. Arkansas, I have a feeling they're going to get hot. It seems like they always do this thing where when they're really good during the season, they suck in the postseason, and when they suck in the postseason, like they get hot. Like even like last year, I felt like we were talking about like how the sky was falling with them at times. Like remember when they almost lost to Washington State on opening night?
Yeah, I mean, how'd it work out?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like they're better when you think that they suck, and when you think that they're good, they play a purple Big 12 team.
Okay, so if we go to okay, so you want to do negative? Let me do one negative, one positive.
Okay.
I'll do it that way. Negative, I'm a bit worried about Florida State. And I know this is an SEC, like we're an SEC show, but we keep going with this SEC team about like, okay, well, they're just going to blow everybody out, and it has yet to happen, and it feels like every single game it's like, oh, well, this is again they're going to pick it up. Now this is the game they're going to pick it up. Now this is the game they're going to pick it up, and it hasn't happened. Obviously, they won big yesterday. I think it was Bethune-Cookman or FIU. So it feels good, but it's like, when is this team coming from? And I guess you could put another good one. If you're going to tell me like an SEC team who is overrated, not going to make it, what are we doing with Kentucky? Has anybody looked at the Kentucky scores over the last like 3 weeks?
They're just winning. There might be a lot of Ole Miss.
I know, which is why I'm not yet to like throw them away, because yes, they're winning, but it's like 3-0, 4-1, 3-2. It's like all these all these scores where it's like they're beating teams they should beat, but it's also like, if this was an SEC team they're playing, do they think they would only give up 2 runs, or do they think they would only give up 3 runs? And so the fact that like me being home a lot, being able to watch all these games, they're bunting so much, dude. And it's like,
they always bunt.
I know, and I get it, and that's Mingion's style. But dude, they are like, that is the only way they score. Is like, if they get the first 2 guys on, they have to bunt the guys over. And it's like they have to do second and third with 1 out to get like a sack fly or get a base hit to get the guys in. Like, they are not hitting, like, it's not guy singles and then guy doubles and they're scoring. I'm very worried about Kentucky, because I had them ranked higher than a lot of people. I think I had them ranked like 19th to start the year, and I had them at number 22 right now, which is still ranked.
Beanie had us all convinced that they were going to play in Omaha.
Which is the crazy part, is their offense was supposed to be ahead of the pitching staff. Dude, their starting 3 has been amazing. Like, Jackson Jokin has been insane. With like Ben Cleaver and Nate Harris has been awesome. So it's like but the same thing you said about like A&M. They can't win if they're just going to score 3, 4, and 3 runs every Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it's just like
I mean, they're missing Bell though, but
okay,
at this point, it's almost going to be the standard.
Yeah, but okay, I'm sorry. I freaking love Tyler Bell, and the guy's going to be a top 10 draft pick. But he's going to be a top 10 draft pick because he's the best defensive shortstop in the country. And that's not close. Like, his range is stupid.
Over Rock? You think he's a better defensive shortstop than Rock?
No. No. Okay, but also Rock is 6'4", 3. Rock is also 6'4", 200.
Rock, I feel like, is a different level where it's
yes. Rock is a different level. Tyler Bell, second. Also, Tyler Bell is so good because he's like 6'1", like 190, 195 pounds. And he's so good at short, but he's also not somebody who, like Rock, is going to be like, hey, we have this guy who is in our lineup who can absolutely carry us. He's not a 25 home run, 80 RBI guy. So it's not like getting him back is going to change this team from winning like these 3-2 games, these 4-2 games, to all of a sudden winning like 12-4 and winning like 13-1. So like that's where my
it's not like he's going to have that much of an effect.
Correct. Like he's the best player on our team, no doubt, and he's one of the best players in the SEC, no doubt. But he doesn't add 9 runs and more.
Yep, that is all that we have time for with our mailbags. Thanks for everybody that sent in those questions. We're going to be back here Monday breaking down all of the wild stuff that happens in the SEC. I'm sure one of these teams we'll talk about will lose a series. So we'll talk about that, I'm sure, majority of our time. And then next Thursday, we go for real with our SEC preview show. It's going to be a little bit shorter because there's only 8 games, but excited to talk about the SEC.